and welcome to this week's YouTube vlog, and Happy New Year! Happy 2025, and let's hope it's all a good one. Thanks everyone that subscribed and commented over the Christmas period. Much more than we expected, so we do really appreciate it. I hope you all had a great one, and yeah, well, we're all back to work now. We all need to crack on. Moving on to this week's vlog, it's going to be a service video, and it's going to be a Warmflow, which is one of my favourite boilers. Yes, it's going to be a combi we're going to be doing. So yeah, basic overview, going through the burner, etc, going through the components on the boiler itself, and basically what you get up to on the basic service of one of them. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to crack on, I'm not going to bore you. Let's get on with this week's YouTube vlog. Okay, so here we have a Warmflow Combi Boiler, which I'll take to pieces in a minute, and they're one of my favourite boilers, the Warmflows. Yeah, I felt Grant. Okay, so first things I notice here is obviously we're going to do a regulation check. If you spin round, Isabel, you can see that the far valve is correct. It's just there, okay, which is absolutely fine. So that's a couple of metres away from the boiler. You've got your isolation valve and your filter. I actually put that on there. As you can see, it's got a label on it because unfortunately after the company put this boiler in, what actually happened was it kept leaking and they come back about 5 times, so I ended up putting a proper filter on there. So coming to this side here of the regulations now, this also makes you laugh. Here's your plume kit. That's absolutely fine. Plastic plume kit, not my favourite, but it's fine. But I can bring your attention to this. This is their pipe lagging. Absolutely fantastic. As you can see, they've cut perfect angles here. It's amazing, isn't it? Hey, if you're a plumber and you do it as good as this, then I commend you on your experience of life. Okay, so that really needs to be done properly. Obviously, it just comes out any old hell and goes up the wall. But I would just do a CD11 for that, and not CD11, CD14 for that, and report it all. Coming around the back here, Isabel, we've got a hole in here for the mice, so that needs to be covered up as well. There's your blow off there, which clearly they've just got flopping on the floor, which needs to be done, yeah, a little bit better than that. So again, I'll report that. This is obviously the flue. They can be bothered to take it away with them. That's a bit there, the spare bit there, which goes on there normally. I'm just going to go get some tools. Enough moaning about this, and yeah, we'll get in the boiler in a sec. So I've done the, well, there should be 4 screws, but this one you can't get to. There's only 3 screws. Got the top off, got the front of the boiler, and basically we're faced with this. So this is again an old bit of flue that they haven't used. Coming in here, this is all great. You've got pressure relief valve in here, which is your gauge of the pressure in. You've got a shock arrestor there. So the idea is that when you turn your hot tap on and off, it doesn't bang in the house. There's your circulating pump there with an auto air vent there. Unfortunately, it looks like it's got a bit crusty, so you need to investigate that. You've got like sensors here, which go into the pipe work. Obviously, you've seen how your fluing goes. We come around the front here, so we've got your filling loopers here as well. Coming around the front, the only thing with this is it hasn't got an external isolator, so we can't isolate it externally, so we have turned it off here at the moment until I actually kill the burner properly. So quite clever in a way, I suppose. On these, you've got this panel here. You slide this panel back, it tells you the pressure in the system, which is 1 bar on that tiny little gauge there. But you've got, obviously, this bit of plastic, which has come off in my hand. That's brilliant. Okay, that just comes off anyway. And now what we're going to do is we're going to undo this nut here, like so, 13 mil, and then we should just be able to pop the expansion vessel round and out the way nicely. So you can see on here, this is a Warmflow thing, and it frustrates the hell out of me, to be honest. When you fill this system up, this is obviously your filling loop here, it goes into here, and then it fills the boiler via the expansion vessel hose. I don't like that, because if this ever clogs up, it causes a massive problem. And a real common fault on the old ones is that you can't get any pressure in the system. So it looks like there's pressure because it says there is on the gauge, but there's actually nothing in the system. And then there's a sensor in the system that says there's not enough pressure, and then the boilers don't run. So it causes us a massive nightmare until we've changed this expansion hose. I thought they'd have got over that problem, but clearly, as you can see, they haven't. Okay, so that's how that works anyway. This vessel will get checked later like a standard vessel, how you check vessels. Put a gauge on here and check, etc. Going to here, quite clever, got a magnetic filter built into them. The MagnaClean there, which I'll show you how to check a bit later on. There's your condenser there, which goes straight down here into the ground. God knows what's going on under the ground, but we're going to have to take the assumption there's a good soak away there. Okay, and then obviously there's your combustion chamber lid here. A funny design here, you've got your condenser straps here onto these clips. So you have to sort of pop this part off here first. Can you get that, Isabel? in there, your condense hose there, and then you've got to pop all that out the way. Bit of a random idea that. Then you undo and take that out the way, and then obviously you've got your proper combustion chamber underneath. Standard RDB burner on this model, which you've seen me do loads of times, but I'll go through it again. And there's your flexible all around down the bottom, which you can see requires changing. So there we go, and it needs a blooming good clean. So I've turned it off on the panel here. I could explain how to go in these panels here and what they do, but I don't see this like this that often, if I'm really honest. So it's not my best area, as they say, but if I start doing more, I'll explain it a bit more to you, which is fine. So I'm going to go away now, and I'm going to start getting my hoover and my tools out, and I'll be back. Okay, here we go. So 5-valve capillary, take it out of the way. Okay, I'll be checking that later, but I'm not going to show you for the pure reason, not because I'm not doing it, because there is a YouTube short on it, which Isabel's pushing on the screen now, how to do your 5-valve. Okay, so there we go. I'll get that out of the way. So we've got here the condensed trap inside here, which I explained earlier. We're going to pop the top pipe off. If it comes off, pop, out it comes like so. And then we're going to pop the condensed trap out of the way, and I reckon... Wow.
You broke it.
No, it's fine. That can sit on there. I'll wash that out in a little while. Okay, so we've just got 2 wing nuts on the top here. We see very few warm flows. There it is down the bottom. We see very few warm flows, the condensing ones like these. That's gone down the back as well, but I'll find it in a minute. Very short thread on that. Okay, so you've just got to be a bit careful here when you take it off. You have to slide it out from the left and round, because round the back here, they've put the valves for the mag filter, so you can't just pull it forward. So you literally have to come out from the left, round, and then slide. So it comes out off that first, which would be that way round, and then there's 2 little valves there, so you go like that, and out it comes. Stick it out of the way, and there you are, Liz. But you want to show in here, that's your secondary exchanger at the top, so you've got 2 10mm there, which I'll undo to take off, and then I've got the 4 13mm there, which is obviously for the main combustion chamber. So what I'm going to do is now, I'm just going to nip this burner out of the way, just by undoing that 13mm there, and just slide it out of the way so it's safe. I'm then going to undo them 13s, undo them 10s, slide them back, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've undone the 2 10mm, and obviously this is coming off now. You need to check this rubber gasket. It's normally on here, but sometimes they stick, and this one's stuck, and as you can see, it's perished through, so it needs a new gasket. Now, before I pull that off, I'm going to check I've got one on my van, because if I haven't, I will leave that exactly as it is, slide it back on, order one for tomorrow, come back tomorrow and do it. But if I was to pull that off now, then what would happen is I would leave the customer without heating, so I can't do that. Okay, so in a Grant you have tubulars, as you see on my Grant service video. Obviously, yeah, they sort of bits of wire that go in here. This is similar, however, they're springs. Okay, so again, these are going to want cleaning. They will be clean. I will hoover through here. What I can't do is wash through here, because if you wash through here, what ends up happening is the water actually comes back on you. Okay, it's different to a Grant. You can wash it all down and round and out. You can't do that necessarily with this one. That's all going to be cleaned there anyway. We're just going to pop this chamber lid off as well. Excuse the noise, that's a lorry gone by. And again, we have a seal here. Here. Okay, that's absolutely fine, that one. You can see that's all subtle still, nice, and you can squeeze it nice and soft. It hasn't gone hard at all. So that will go back on absolutely fine. And underneath here, you've got all your baffles inside here. It's a bit warm at the minute, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my hoover. I'm going to stick it through the hole at the bottom. I'm going to leave it on for a while, and that's going to pull the air through here, down through the baffles, back and through the hoover, and out, and that should pull some cold air in then and cool it down a bit quicker. Once I've done that, you've seen me clean loads of boilers on my vlogs. I'm going to give that a good old scrape out. That's going to be cleaned with a wire brush as well as a normal brush for the gentle debris, and scrapers as well. That will all get hoovered out, hoovered in the bottom absolutely fine, and it'll be immaculate in there. Once I've done that, I will slide the baffles back in. But before I do that, I will get Isabel just to do a couple of little videos of various stages so she can see, or photos so she can see what's going on. And then we're going to hoover this out. This is obviously from ants, so we'll get that all nice and clean in there. And then I'll put it all back together, and we'll be back onto the burner. Okay, so I'm back. As you can see, I haven't got the video of me doing that because it would just bore you because I've done it so many times before. So we've done a series of photo to be different, didn't we, Isabel?
Yes,
there
we
we go.
did.
Okay, so it's all done. 5 valves tested, but that's something, like I said, is on a vlog that we've just shown previously in the video. Isabel put a link to it. Check here for leaks. There is no leaks here, especially things like this, you drain off. So don't nip them up unless they're leaking because you'll start a leak. But yeah, that's not leaking, that's not leaking. This is your water exchanger here for your water side of the combi. Okay, and I don't know if I explained before, but right around the back there is your exchanger for the combi as well, for the secondary heat exchanger for getting your hot water. Okay, so that's that part done. We're going to move on to the burner now. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull it round. This is basically a standard RDB, but it's slightly different. It's got a different blast tube, yellowy blue flame on there. Okay, so it's a different blast tube. It's just got a little bit of a longer extension to it. So first thing you've got to check is here. Okay, make sure none of this is broken here, which it's not. Check that one there, it's all fine. Grab it, it's all in place, all in one bit, it's fine. Oil line we know we need to change, we'll do that in a second. It's not isolated, I told you it wasn't isolated. I can't get in this house either because unfortunately the customer's not here, but it is off and it's not firing, so don't worry, we're not going to have a problem there. Can you hear that music in the background, Isabel?
Yes, I can.
That is some dude in his car the other side of this fence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, there we go. So first things first, as always, take the cover off. 2 Allen keys or 2 flatheads to get that off. Okay, as you can see, it's not coming straight off, so I'll do that now. Quite a good song that, isn't it, Isabel?
Yeah, bit of a
we'll just
rave.
undo that. Put them down there and we'll drop it like so. Now, if this was inside a house, clearly I'd have a tray. I'm doing this on a sheet. I would quite often have a tray here, the plastic one you've seen me use, but this sheet is my dirty one to go on the ground, and at the end of the day, after today, it's going to be washed, so there we go. Right, so here we go, RDB. As always, here we go. This one's slightly different. You've got the adjuster there as well. That adjusts your depth of your nozzle, your flame ring at the end. So that's something which I would show you if I was doing it, but I don't have to do that because it's been preset. Here you've got your control box. You've got your RDB photocell here, and you've obviously got your capacitor there. There's your pump, your coil, obviously all the one I've told you about. Your motors around here. Okay, and then obviously behind here is all your fan assembly, which will be cleaned. So the first thing I'm going to do before we go any further is I'm going to flip over and I'm going to check the capacitor. Sorry, I'm going to remove the oil pump first, and then once I've done that, I'm then going to check the capacitor. Now, once I've taken the oil pump off, the capacitor, there's actually a short that came out this week a few days ago. Okay, so that will be on that. So Isabel will put the link up to that because I feel like I've shown it to you so many times, it's easier to just put it on a link for people. Okay, so I'll be back in just 2 seconds. So RDB, so there's the coil. Take the top off that first, take the little nut off the top and lay it down like so, and just drop the coil off. With the coil, just pull that off, check it for cracks. That's a mark, not a crack, it's just that someone's drawn on it. Okay, that's absolutely fine there, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So we'll just lay that to one side. 12mm nut at the back, just undo it, give it a little crack like so, and that will undo in a second. Okay, I'm just going to put some tissue in the end because obviously it dribbles out to the nozzle. There we go, out of the way. Okay, next things next, we're going to get our, I'm using a Torx, but it's an Allen key, either will do. Just undo it. 1, 2, there's one through here as well, if I can get to it. I normally can. And out it comes. Okay, drive coupling wheel nil check. As you can see that in there? There's like a line in the bottom, that's where it grips. If it's halfway across there, about that or more, then obviously it's no good. Obviously there's not even a mark on there, so that's absolutely fine. And check it for cuts on this side. Again, and that's absolutely fine, so that does not need changing. This is a bio style pump because it's got the green seal in it. As you can see, it turns that way, so which is that way. I'm going to turn that 52 times. So 52 times with the shaft is one complete revolution inside. Every so often I just turn back to see if it locks, and then I'll carry on. Okay, so we're just going to do that for a while and keep checking it, and we'll be back. Next thing we're going to do is a capacitor, but like I said to you, there's a short about that. Okay, so again, we're going to undo the Allen keys on there. Take forever sometimes. There we go, that's one. That's quite tight, that one. Quite cold out here, Isabel. I think it's going to snow, isn't it?
Freezing.
Don't forget your gloves, by the way. So that's one side. Okay, so we'll give that a clean behind there in a little minute. Okay, it's a bit dirty, so that can have a wipe. Just got the 4 more now. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're sniffling, is that because it's cold out here, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit of it, innit? That's the only downside of outside boilers, it can be a bit chilly and a bit wet sometimes.
Yeah.
There we go. So it looks like at some point it's had a little something going on in there, but it's bone dry now. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to clean that. I'm going to clean the fan in here, make sure there's no restrictions. I'm going to clean all inside here. There's a seal on here. That's all in good condition. We're going to spin the fan, listen. That's fine, no bearing noise there, so we know we're happy with that. So yeah, we're going to clean all that and then I'll be back to you. Okay, so we're all back together on this part. Drive coupling, we're just going to pop that in there like so, in the back of the motor. Okay, we're going to get the pump, we're going to line the pump up, and there we go. Before you do it up, a little tip of the day, connect the line first, the nozzle line first. Once you've got that in position, then you need to get that part of it so it's just about there like so, and then we can start to do it up again, if I can find my screwdriver. So just about there. And do it up again. Don't over tighten it, but at the end of the day, as I've said before, it's a steel screw in a bit of aluminium. Okay, once you've done that, we just need to, if I can find my spanner, do the nozzle line up. Again, get it until it goes tight, nip, simple as that. Now, the reason that I make that go like that, so it's there and it's in a position, is so that when you put this back on, it literally goes straight into place, absolutely perfect, and it sits on there a dream. If it's too far around, it wouldn't go on. So we're just going to put the nut on. And that's the basic burner back together. Now the oil I need is changing. Really embarrassingly, I've run out on the last job, so I haven't got one. So I'm going to have to pop back with an oil line, which I'll do later on this afternoon, but unfortunately Isabel will be doing the vlog by then and editing it. And I've also got to get the gasket that's behind there as well. Okay, they're very simple things to do. I can just pop back later. That's going to take me probably an hour to do. Normally I've got these gaskets on my van, but again I've run out. We've just been so busy lately. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to flick it over. We're going to undo 1, 2, 3 screws, and we're going to pull the blast tube off. When we've done that, I'll be back. So I've undone the 3 screws. Very gently pull it up. Here's your electrode blocks here. You can just pop that off. That wants a good clean, as you can see, so that's going to get a good clean. Undo the Allen key. You can't get this in the wrong place because that lines up with that hole there. So just slide it off. That's going to get a clean. I'm going to clean that and I'm going to change the nozzle. Once I've done all that, I'm going to put it back together and I'll be back. Going back a step, I don't keep showing me doing all these things. It's because they're on a lot of my other videos. So if you follow us, you'll see them on a lot of the other videos. So yeah, anyway, as I say, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've jumped forward slightly. I've put it all back together, popped it in. So we're all back together. To be honest, why have we not videoed the last bit, Isabel? Why? Because you got cold.
Because I'm freezing.
And she's a worse. She had to go sit in the van for a little bit, poor girl. So,
yeah.
Right, oil off anyway. Let's crack on, okay? We just put a bit of tissue under there, stopping the excessive oil. And yes, if people haven't watched the whole video and they're only looking at this bit only, yes, I know about the oil line, and yes, I am going to change it, but I haven't got one on my van. But I will be picking 10 up in a little bit. Okay, so we're going to spin that on like so. We're going to turn it on. Okay, I'm just going to put the units over to bar because that's what we're running on. So hang on just 2 seconds. Okay, so we're ready to go now. So we're going to turn the oil back on. What we're expecting is some wash pressure. We'll just wait a second. There we go. Okay, so if you shine down there, Isabel. Okay, so that's your wash pressure there, 1.15 bar. And then in a minute the boiler will fire. And then that will increase. 8.68, that should be 9 bar. Okay, so I'm just going to increase that slightly. So just above here, this round here, if I can see it, there's a little adjuster screw just in there. I'm just going to increase it slightly and drop it up to 9 bar pressure. Okay, once I've done that, I'm then going to obviously remove the gauge, take it out, and I'm going to let it warm up. Once it's warmed up, then I'll put my machine in it, and I'm expecting to get 12.2 on the CO2 part. Just quickly while we're there, something else we haven't shown you, magnetic filter there. I can't actually check that because the top connector I can't, or the tap, I can't move it, it's seized up, so I'm going to have to come back and give that some attention as well. Okay, but we are actually in the middle of doing a short in the next few days on how to check a magnetic filter. And coming round to here, obviously things like the filter that are there and the one on the tank, I've done them, but I'm just going to give it to Isabel, there you go. But we're not going to show you how to stay, because again I've shown you before. But come this way, Isabel. I want to bring your attention to the regulations on the oil tank. Okay, so the filter's fine. If you look here, obviously it's too close to this, it's plastic. Okay, so that's no good. And if you look at the back, someone's had a go at it, but as you can see, the fire protection shouldn't be done like that. It's just fixed to a fence, and also it's not high enough. It should be a foot wider, a foot higher, the most important. So yeah, that isn't any good either, really. Right, so it is not quite to regulation. Right, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to set the boiler up, and yeah, I'll see you in the van. We're going to stop this one now because you can see that the video is shaking a little bit because the poor girl's got funny colour hands and she's freezing. She's just going to get back in the van. So as I always say, over to the van. And that's it, that's this week's YouTube vlog, done from us at Barton All Burner Services, and I hope you liked it. So there we go, a service on a Warmflow Combi Boiler. That was quite a new one, it was a condensing one, and sorry if I didn't show the whole burner and stuff like that, but I just keep finding, if I'm not careful, I'm going to repeat myself. That's why we put little messages up to say to people, look, you know, here's how to do a capacitor, here's how to check this, like the fire valve, because it's on shorts that we've done. So there we go. The oil tank there, as you can see, wasn't the best compliant one, but at the end of the day, we can only do a CD14 about that. And as I said in the video, I need to pop back and do a oil line, which embarrassingly I haven't got, and obviously I need to do that gasket as well, which I will do later. Please feel free to subscribe as always, and most importantly, please do a comment, because we love a comment. So yeah, let's hope this weekend's good. I think it's supposed to be very, very cold, so stay warm everyone. Until next time, stay safe.